Welcome back to TMZ Live. Legendary wrestler Hulk Hogan in the middle of a huge controversy right now over a sex tape that was leaked to the internet.
What happened was, several years back, I believe 6, when Hulk had already separated from Linda Hogan, he was involved in an incident. I shouldn't call it an incident.
He had sex.
He had sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. Bubba is a famous radio personality, and Bubba is one of his best friends. So he talked about it this morning on the Howard Stern show. But we have now found there's some additional information because Hulk was saying that if Bubba has anything to do with this, that friendship is over. So Hulk joins us right now along with his attorney, David Houston. Guys, welcome to TMZ Live.
How are you?
We're good. We're good. You there, Hulk?
Yeah, brother, I'm here.
So Mike has seen the tape. So I think, rather than me doing secondhand, Mike, you there?
Yeah, so Hulk and David, I actually saw the tape, and I kind of wanted to go over it with you because I did hear you on Howard Stern talking about Bubba and being still friends with him, and that you were pretty sure you knew maybe where this was coming from. I want to read to you the transcript of the end of this tape because I think it's going to change your mind, and I want to get your reaction to it.
And Mike, we should just say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just after the sexual encounter ends and Hulk walks out of the room.
Right, this is exactly. This is the end of the tape. You leave, and Bubba comes back in the room, and Heather's on the bed. And Bubba says, I quote, "If we ever did want to retire, all we'd have to do is use this footage of him." So I just kind of want your reaction to that. I know you know that this might be in one of the tapes. I can tell you 100% that is what Bubba says when you leave the room.
If that is true, I'm sick to my stomach right now because I have gone over this with Bubba, and I don't know why someone would secretly film this. And when this first popped up, 6 or 7 months ago, it was something I was praying would go away simply because I'm accountable for it. It would happen way before I met my current wife, Jennifer, and I was at an all-time low. I pretty much bottomed out, to tell you the truth, with my personal relationship, with the marriage I had, and I was, at an all-time low, and I made a bad choice, and like I've said before, Bubba and Heather have always been close friends. Bubba's been nothing but a good friend to me, which makes me, my reaction, I have not heard that straight up from you like this. And, the fact that Heather's always been such a nice person to me and was always kind, the fact that, this situation happened, for a couple of years I thought it was a joke when Heather was making advances and Bubba was saying, "Oh, it's okay," and this went on constantly for a couple of years before the incident. And then when it happened, it was my choice. When the offer was made again, I made a huge mistake, and I will forever be sorry for that. And
Hulk,
my attorney David Houston and I have decided since
Hulk, did he ever admit to you that he taped you while you were in his room?
No, I've asked him. I said, "Bubba, you are my friend," and I've said this to him a few days ago. And I still stand by this, that Bubba, you are my friend, and you're one of the only real friends I have in my life. I value your friendship. And whoever did this to me, filmed me secretly, whoever leaked this tape, I don't know what the motive is, if it's just trying to destroy me or if they're trying to make money. But if you had anything to do with this, that meant we were never friends. And that, I love you to death, and I know you have a family, and that if you did this, you need to tell me now. And that conversation has happened several times. And if you did this, you need to tell me now. I'm not here to destroy lives because I love your son. But you telling me something like this makes me sick right now.
Well, we should say we don't know that Bubba had anything to do with
That's
leaking.
Right, and I want to find out. That's why we're having a full-blown criminal and civil investigation on who set this camera up and who released the tape and whoever did it. I've discussed with David Houston over and over. We're going to civilly and criminally would not be happy until we've exhausted all sources and they're being let out of jail in handcuffs, because this is a criminal offense.
Hulk and David, I just want to make sure that that I understand this. So there are, David, you went to the police department, filed a report, but there are two issues here. One, I believe you say that it's a felony for anybody in Florida to videotape somebody in a situation like this without their consent. So that would be one alleged crime, and the second would be disseminating it and having it posted on the internet, and that would be the second crime. Am I correct there?
Yeah, that's correct, Harvey. In fact, we put Gawker on notice just so that they couldn't come back later and say, well, yeah, we didn't know. We thought maybe you could have consented. They're on notice and have been since last week that this footage was not authorized. Terry had no knowledge, and certainly Hulk didn't consent to any sort of dissemination or, for that matter, any sort of filming. And we've tried to get the message across over and over again before we initiated the criminal aspect of this. Take it down. It was never Hulk's desire to create problems for anyone, but at the same point in time, the news that Mike just read as far as the transcript is very disturbing. I've had a number of conversations with Bubba myself, and it sickens me as well.
So as for the two issues, it doesn't say that he's the one that leaked it, but it sure does seem to be the case that he knew very well that it was being taped while it was happening, because he walked right in the room and made the comment to Heather.
Well, and guys, we reached out to Bubba, just so everyone knows, we haven't heard back either, to try to explain himself. I mean, I think, Hulk, I'm getting that you don't believe Bubba would disseminate it and put it out, but the fact that he's admitting here that he taped it without your knowledge and kind of saying, look, I could retire off this, that's how much this is worth, I just feel like, Bubba could explain himself, and so far we haven't heard back from him either.
Well,
I mean, that's
I would love to see that tape. Not that I'm saying you guys would say anything that's not true, but when you have a friend that's that close and you depend on and you believe in, that if that is the case, I would want to see that tape with my own eyes if you have that tape, and that's a whole different story, because he told me he would never set a camera up and knew nothing about it.
Well, the quote again, Hulk, right after you leave the room from Bubba is, and this is a quote, "If we ever did want to retire, all we'd have to do is use this footage."
And that's Bubba talking.
Harvey, have you seen this tape also?
No, I haven't. Mike has.
I've seen it, though. I've seen it with Mike.
Listen, I've known Hulk for years, and and I know, I wouldn't say this on TMZ, and I wouldn't say it to you if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, and this is transcribed by me from what I witnessed here a few hours ago. That's why I wanted to tell you about it to while you're on the phone.
If you transcribed this a couple of hours ago, you're saying you have the tape that you could show my attorney, David Houston, that's in Los Angeles right now?
I was able to view it.
Hulk, this is Evan. I'm the co-executive producer. I've seen the tape, too, and everything Mike's saying is true.
Right.
Do you guys have the tape? Do you guys have the tape that my attorney can see?
We've seen the tape.
I've seen it. The bottom line is that we can talk about it off the air, but I wanted to read it to you so we could get your reaction to Bubba, because I know that's the key here, is the friendship and what Bubba is saying on this tape. We all know what's on the rest of the tape, but that, to me, because I've known you for a long time and I know Bubba, this was a big deal to me.
No.
Well, hey, gentlemen, real clearly, if it's on the tape, then I think Hulk's made himself clear there was never a friendship. We've given Bubba every opportunity to tell the truth and to avoid what's obviously coming, and for whatever reason, Bubba's chosen not to do so, and I'll certainly be happy to talk to you off air to try to get a time when I might be able to view that personally.
Okay, we are going to break. Hulk and David, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.